You are never going to have all types of background in your possession. Rather, we are going to use the one we have to achieve what we want through the ones we can get online. In this video, we are going to be looking at how we can use our regular white background to get a textured background in Adobe Photoshop. If you want this image and this background, you can get it for download in the description and it's free. This is Twisted Creative. Alaribemana is my name. So first time on this channel, please do me a favor. Do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Not just hitting that subscribe button, but also ring the notification bell so that I don't miss the next video. If you've been watching this channel and you've not subscribed, please subscribe because we're working towards 50k subscribers. It's going to help the algorithm to keep this channel moving. We have to unlock the image so that we can make change to the image. I think the best place I would like it to be is somewhere around here. Let it not be too big. Let there be space on the background. We can reposition it later. Then we can hit OK here. Then let's fill the remaining part by dragging like this. This can only be done with plain background. I know if you do this, it's going to stretch out the background. The stretching is going to be visible. Let's go to the next one and do it. I'm going to make it a little bit fast. Then I'm going to stretch it. We are using our rectangular marquee tool to select a path like this without allowing to touch the image. Then take your move tool. Then you have to drag from the edge. Hold your shift, drag and cover the space. Then use our Ctrl D to remove the selection. Let's use our Ctrl J to duplicate this image. We have at least 3 of it should be fine. At least let's be able to see before and after. With the top one selected, let's go to the selection tool and make our selection. It has been selected but not properly selected. Like if you take a look at the seat, there is a kind of weird selection there. Let's go to object selection tool and drag across the chair while holding our shift, and we have it selected in a way. This is not advanced Photoshop, so it will not be able to select it very well, and we are not using cloud for the selection. So I'm taking my lasso tool, then I go to the area that was not properly selected, then I make the correction. We are going to be adding part of the background here so as not to lose the edges of the hair, not to lose the tiny hair. We're done with the outside of the selection. We have to right click and select inverse, then right click again and feather with 2, hit OK. Now we have to push our delete like 4 or 5 times. Let's push our delete 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's remove the selection. If you take a look at the top image, it has been selected here. Let's disable this tool. You notice that the image has been selected. Let's go to selection tool and take the magic wand tool and click on the inside, then right click, feather with 2, then push delete like 4 times also. Then do the same thing to this spot, then OK, push delete 4 times, then do the same thing to this spot, then feather with 2, hit delete 4 times, do the same thing to this guy too, or you can do it at the same time. Just hit OK. Then you can select this and hold your shift to select the rest one, then feather with 2 and push your delete 4 times. Let's assume we're done with the selection. Then go to the hair. Let's go to the hair and figure these edges out. Though the image is not that sharp, the edges, look at the edges. Let's select the edges out, then let's select the other part also and do it this way. Just the tip, anywhere that has the white background on it, just select it, involve it and feather with 2. Then go to your eraser tool. If you right click, you have the eraser tool, background eraser tool, then pick background eraser tool. Make sure the middle eyedropper is selected, then make sure the limit should be on discontinuous, then maybe tolerance should be 52 or thereabout. Then you can select and wipe, and you see have the hair intact. If you want to do this, you have to introduce background so as to see how it's going to look on the background. Let's drag this background and drop it on the image. Then we have to resize the background to fit our canvas. Okay, if we are going to place the image on the background, let's take it to the bottom and let's leave it somewhere here. If you are going to place this image on the background, it's just looking like the floor of the background is not good enough, because if you even take a look, a kind of picture that is taken within the floor and maybe 4 feet high, so we have to be within somewhere like so. Then we have to go to our rectangular marquee tool and drag to add or increase the bottom of the background by dragging it like so. Then we have to go to the move tool, then hold our control to pick the edge here, then drag it down to spread it so as to create that dimension, that perspective to be there. So I think it should be good enough like this. Then hit OK. Then if you disable this, let's disable the image. You notice that the background is now having depth, as in there's a lot of depth. It's inside, as you can see. Let's enable the image. Then like the hair is the reason why this background is brought here. Then we can go to our eraser tool again, go to our background eraser tool, and then select the image. Then we have to take the plus mark as our target. Then have to select this bright area of this stuff and wipe. You can keep on clicking on it while let's see. So you can keep on clicking on those areas to completely wipe off those extras that are remaining. And the reason why we have this thing is just because this part of the image is not that sharp, so it is mixed up with the hair. So that's why you are seeing it this way. It would have be easy to wipe as fast as possible. Okay, the hair is okay to go like this. Then to have to bring in shadows, because we can see the image is floating on this background. Then we have to bring in shadow. How do we get to that shadow aspect? Let's enable this image. Then let's select this image and enable it. It's going to show up the white background again. We don't need to do anything here, just for you to go to the blend mode and change it to multiply. So if you take a look at the floor, you can see that the shadow is there. Okay, the shadow is now there, but there's a problem there. If you take a look at the image, beside the lines of the image, you notice that we have a very thick dark lines on the image. So we have to erase that thick lines by taking our clone stamp tool. We'll take our clone stamp tool, then we're going to make sure the background, as in the shadow layer, let's rename this to be shadow. You make sure the shadow layer is selected. Then with your clone stamp selected, you have to hold your Alt and just take a sample within the area, as in the main background within the background of the shadow image, then use it to wipe. Then let's disable this. Let's see exactly what is happening there. You are going to wipe those sharp edges. So this is the image. The shadow image is the image that will place on multiply. So this is the image that is on multiply. The blend mode is on multiply now. So we have to just hold your Alt and take a sample, then use it to fill the edges. That's what we are going to be doing. It's not something that is going to take time, but I'm just showing you this to show you how. Let's put on the image layer, and we'll have to go within, just take a sample here and just run it across like this. It's very easy, isn't it? Just take a sample, run it across, take a sample, run it across. Let's take a sample, then hold and drag it along the edge, then hold and drag inside, hold and drag inside, select, hold and drag inside. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to do it around the image. Then we'll select here, just drag around to remove the edge So you are expected to copy from this dark area because this is the shadow area. You don't have to take sample from bright area and place it on a dark area. So let's take from the dark part of this and stamp it on. So we're just going to stay within this dark area to fill up this dark part. Okay, I think it's fine. Let's do to this other part. We'll do it like this. Just take a sample, then click, take a sample, click in a complicated area, like very tight area like this. Let's reduce the size and do just take a sample, click, take a sample, click severally. It's going to take a very long time if your opacity is not on 100% and flow on 100%. So let's take a sample here and do something here. So take a sample here and drag, take a sample here, drag. So you can just take a sample and click, 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 click. So you can take a sample from a very dark place and place here. I think that's fine. Okay, you can do that to this area also. I think we are done with this. We are done with it. But if you take a look at this tool, if you take a look at the seat here, you notice I'll still have something like that on it. But you can still do that depending on if you have a lot of time, have enough time, you can do all this. But for the now, we don't think we have all the time. So let's do it. Let's do the one we'll be able to do for the now. I think is fine. It's fine. Okay. So we can leave the rest part for the now. Don't know what you're thinking. Is it okay on this background? Let's see. You can enhance the color of the image by selecting the image. Then go to brightness and contrast. You can do that with adjustment layer also. Then brightness and contrast. You can pull the brightness of the image up. Then I think this image is fine. I don't know what you think about this image. This image is perfect on this background. We can even increase the size of the image. Like we can increase the size of the image by selecting the first one and holding our shift to select the last one. Let's enable this also. Then we can go to the move tool and we'll be able to adjust this image to match our liking. Okay, I think it should be, let's move it to this direction. I think it should be fine like so. I don't think there is any other thing. If you take a look at the image now, you notice that we have the shadows, everything intact. So if there's any question, you can drop it in the comment section. I think it's a very good way we can transform our image by changing our background without even having the background right in our studio. So that is it. Let's see the before and after. Let's hold our Alt and click on this last eye icon here to see the before and after. So this is the before and this is the after. This is the before and this is after. Let's make something clear here. Your background needs to be bright, so as immediately this shadow background comes in, if you take a look now, you notice that the background is naturally bright. Okay, then if you put this shadow background on, it's going to darken the entire thing because it's on multiply. If you check the original image, you can see that the image background is not that white because the light was controlled. You know what I mean by controlled light? It's not, the light was not spilled on the background that much, so that is why you are seeing it this way. So in case you are trying to shoot to change background, you have to make sure your light is controlled so that the light is not going to be everywhere. Like if you take a look at the image, beside the image, you notice that we have some shadow areas within the image. We have some shadows areas within some dark part of it. You know that this light is a kind of controlled light, not that kind of open light that spreads everywhere and ruin your image. The lightning is the reason why it was able to match into this background very well. You can also try out with something else, but if you want this image and this background, you can get it for download in the description and it's free. So let's see the before and after. Hold our Alt down and click on this last icon to see the before, and this is the after. This is the before, this is after. I think that is it for this video. If you find it interesting, helpful and useful, let us know in the comment section, telling us the area it has helped and the area it would have helped and the area we need to improve on. Like I said earlier, if you are new here or your first time on this channel, please consider subscribing, because it's going to help us in the YouTube algorithm to keep this channel running for free. Thanks for watching this video. Creative Pro, keep on creating, keep on creating. See you in the next one. Bye for now.